Hey lovelies, welcome back. It's your girl Katie here, and today's video is going to be my unboxing of September's Ipsy Boxycharm box. So I'm just going to be showing you guys what all I got, tell you guys prices and all that good stuff. So to no further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. Alright, so as usual, I did go ahead and try out all the makeup products on my face before I filmed this. That way I can give you guys my first impressions. And surprisingly, this month I got all makeup. I think that might be a first. If it's not a first, it's a very rare occasion. Granted, I did get to customize for the products in the box, so that does help. But I was really surprised at this time around that the two products that they picked out for me were both makeup products. That's really shocking, at least to me it is. But anyway, so I'm really happy with that. Anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and get the products that they picked out of the way for me first, and then after that I will get on into my choice items. So first up, from Shine Cosmetics, never heard of this brand, or at least I don't think I have. Anyways, they chose for me this brow wand, either way, and it's in the shade Virtue. Like I said, never heard of this brand, but it is a brow pencil. Not really sure what's the difference between a brow pencil and a brow wand, but anyways, so here it is. So it's got, of course, the one end with the actual product, and then the other end is the spoolie. So I did try this out on my face today, and I will say, like, the color match is pretty decent, but the only issue I really had, or like my only complaint, if you want to say, is the pencil's pretty like thick. Like, it's not like a tiny one. So I always feel like when it comes to products that are kind of thicker like this, I always have more trouble when it comes to filling in like the edge of my brow. I always feel like I have to be really careful because it can make my tail of my brow a lot thicker looking than it really is. So that's why I just prefer like a really skinny pencil, so that way I can give it like more detail. But actual like product wise, it worked just fine. Like I said, the color matches me just fine, and you know, very pigmented. Didn't have any problems like buffing it out or spreading it out, whatever you want to call it. I don't know the actual terms, but anyways, so not mad about this product. And like I said, never heard of this brand, so I always like trying out new brands. They did send like a 20% off in their box, which is kind of cool. I've never seen brands send like little coupons or like codes with the products that we get, at least not the ones that I've gotten. Maybe that's a common theme, but yeah, I thought that was kind of nice. This retails for $20. Which in my opinion is a little hefty. That's like kind of, I don't know, you guys let me know in the comments, but isn't that kind of like, I don't know, high-end kind of prices? But like I said, I don't know anything about the brand, so maybe they are a high-end brand, but I mean, I've never heard of them, but that doesn't mean anything. I don't keep up with everything. Anyways, next up, from Paranova, it's a cheek palette. This retails for $27, and I think this is like just the new type of packaging that everyone does. This seems to be the common theme when it comes to cheek products now, or like blushes in particular. So it has two blushes. It has one cream, one powder, and I think this one is technically like I think it's a highlighter. I did use this, but I didn't use the highlighter because there's another highlighter in here that I chose to use instead. But anyways, yeah, so I use the powder blush. I forgot to try out the cream one because I went in straight with the powder, and I wasn't sure the cream would go on top of the powder very well, and I didn't want to, like, I don't know, mess up my makeup, so I was like, dang it, I should have gone with the cream first, but I didn't, and I forgot. And also I was afraid it was going to be too much blush, but this shade right here is actually really pretty. It is what I have on, like I said, and I think it's a nice blush. I don't have any complaints about it. Pretty pigmented, blended out really well. That's all. I mean, it just applied well. But yeah, I'm curious to try out the cream and the highlighter as well. Anyways, packaging wise, like, it's not the greatest feeling packaging, and I do like that it does have this little cover on it to protect the cream, but it kind of like, if you're not holding it a certain way, it flops open on its own, which might be a nice thing. Anyways, that's all I have to say about that. So $27 for this. Again, a bit steep, but I don't know anything about the brand. But I don't know. I don't know. These prices just seem kind of pricey to me, but that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to bash on the brands or anything. All right, so those are the two products that they chose for me. So from here on out are the products that I customized. So first up, from Rare Beauty, I chose their Soft Pinch Tinted Lip Oil. I have it in the shade Hope, and this is what is currently on my lips. I know you guys are probably like tired of me saying that because you're like, yes girl, you already told us that you tried all this stuff out on yourself, but I just want to make sure that you guys know. Anyways, so classic Rare Beauty packaging. Like I said, it's in the shade Hope. I like this a lot. I think this is probably my favorite product in the box. Yeah, out of all the products I've gotten in this box, this is probably my favorite. I really, really like this lip shade. I know, it's just like my perfect kind of nudie pink look, and I think it just complements my skin tone really, really well. Super comfortable. I don't know. It says it's a lip oil. I don't know if I would call it that. I mean, it's definitely not one that dries down, so maybe. I don't know. It's just like whenever you applied it, like it's not, I mean, whenever I applied it, it's really not oily. Like to me, it just looks like a regular lip stick, like a tinted lipstick. I didn't wipe it off. Maybe I was supposed to. I don't know if this has directions on it. I just applied it and left it on my lips. It was more, how do you say this without it kind of sounding weird, but it was more like wet when I applied it. Like it was like definitely like a liquid. It didn't dry down completely because I could tell that if I were to take a napkin or something, you could, I mean, I guess maybe that's why. I don't know. I didn't use it like a lip tint. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I kind of forgot that it was technically a lip tint because I don't know, it says tinted lip oil. Doesn't that also mean it could just be pigmented? I don't know. It doesn't have any directions on it. I guess I'll have to look it up and see if I'm supposed to wipe this off or if I just leave it on my lips. I just left it on my lips. But anyways, point being, I really, really like this color. I think it's super, super pretty. This retails for $22. And honestly, I don't know. I know Rare Beauty is kind of more of a higher end brand, so that doesn't surprise me by the price, but still, I feel like that's not like a horrible price for a lip product. But maybe I'm just being biased because I like Rare Beauty. Anyways, moving on. Next up from Tarte, I have their pressed powder. This is in the shade Light Sand, and it's face tape. I don't know. It's called face tape. It says it's a pressed powder, but I feel like whenever they're tinted or shaded, I guess, I always feel like like that's just like a foundation or something. Like I don't know why a setting powder would ever have like a shade to it. So here's the packaging, and it did come with like this little powder thing, which is very thin. I didn't use that. I probably won't use that. Anyways, packaging is super cute but super shiny and has that fingerprinty packaging where if you touch it, it's going to leave fingerprints. Okay, so I tried this out. I don't like it first impressions wise, but I don't know if I need to just play with this to get it to work for me. This product didn't work for me. I put it on and it's pretty pigmented. Like there's definitely a shade to it. And for starters, it's not really my shade. I think I could get it to work, but I'd have to go in super, super light-handed with probably like a brush. Like I put it under my eyes, and maybe that's the mistake I made. I took a little powder puff, and I just I tried to wipe off some of the excess. I didn't expect it to be so pigmented, so that was my bad. But like it was just like yellow. Yeah, and I think it's, for one, it's not my shade. Two, I don't know. I can't blame it solely on this because I did a couple of things different today. My skin was like super dry, and the moisturizer that I normally use, my sunscreen one, it wasn't working, so I went ahead and tried a different serum moisturizer thing, primer thing, whatever you want to call it, that I'd gotten recently, and that might have something to do with it because I don't really know how those two reacted. And then adding this with that, like, I don't know. There was just some things going on because what I noticed is when I applied this, it like sat on my skin. It made my skin super bumpy looking, like you just see all the textures of my skin. I feel like it was making my foundation slip and slide around, but I'm not sure it's solely this product's fault. It could also be the fact that I tried out a new primer today with the foundation. I don't know. I shouldn't have tried that new primer, but I was kind of desperate to try to make my skin look a little better before I applied foundation, because my skin is, I don't know if it's the change in the weather right now, probably has to do with that, but it's just so dry. I have like super dry areas, and like from here you guys can't tell, but if I were to zoom you in, my skin does not look very pretty right now. So I have like a weird dry patch right here, over here. I just have really bad dry skin right now. Anyways, and this did not help in the slightest. But anyway, so I had to like fix my makeup after I used this. But I'm not very impressed with the fact that it's shaded. I wish it was translucent. That probably would have made a big difference. But I'll keep playing with it. Maybe, I mean, honestly, usually if a product doesn't blow me away the first time I use it, and if I have issues with it, I'm not really likely to reach for it again. So honestly, I'll probably just pass this on because I just don't think it's something that's for me. Anyways, that was super long-winded. Apologies. But this retails for $40. $40. I'm not sure why this costs so much. I feel like that's like a foundation price. So that's what makes me wonder if this is supposed to be. Oh, it does say medium coverage. So why do they call it a pressed powder then? Why don't they just call it a foundation? I'm just reading on the back, and it says mattify, hydrate, and smooth. How does it mattify? How does it also hydrate? Like, I feel like those are two conflicting things. It's a medium coverage natural matte finishing powder. Yeah. It's supposed to blur the look of pores and fine lines. It did not blur at all. It says use alone or over foundation for extra coverage. So I will definitely say that I think the coverage is true. And most likely the matting. I can see that it being very mattifying, but I did not see how it is hydrating, because like I said, it made my under eyes look really, really bad. Anyways, I'm done talking about that product. Didn't like it. Moving on. Next up, from Rim Beauty, which I was really surprised to see in the box this month, because I've heard a lot of people talking about Rim Beauty lately, so I don't know if they're like a newer brand or if they're just newer to have the spotlight on them. I don't know much about them at all. I've heard of them like on TikTok and YouTube, but don't know much about them. This is their satin matte bronzer. I have the shade Solar Storm, and my voice is sounding like there's a frog in it. If you can't already tell, it's been a long day for me. Anyways, Solar Storm. Packaging is super sleek and cute looking. Kind of reminds me of like sci-fi, like, I don't know, alien kind of vibes with just the silver, shiny. The name is really weird. Like, I'm sure that was their intentions, but I don't know. Why does it look like that? Like, the font is different for the R and the E and the M. I don't know. It's just very unique. It makes me wonder why it's like that. Kind of makes you look like you're, like, looking in, like, a mirror, or, you know those, like, mirrors that kind of distort you a little bit, like at a fun house or something, where you're, like, kind of, like, all wompy looking? That's what it kind of reminds me of. Anyways, here's the actual bronzer. I liked this. I will say I think it's a smidge too dark for me. Like, I got it to work, but applying it, I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to go in super, like, light-handed, because I could see if I went in a little too heavy-handed, it would probably start to look a little muddy on me. Like, it worked, but I also wonder if I'm going to be able to use this in the winter whenever I start to lose my tan, because my face, or, like, listen, I know I don't look tan. Compared to others, I'm not very tan, but for me, I'm tanner than I normally am. So, just saying. But I could see myself, if I could only go in one dip and, you know, put bronzer here, and there. I wouldn't be able to do more than that. I couldn't build it up on myself just because I think it would start to look muddy. Like I said, it's just a smidge too It's not too dark for me, but it could be too dark for me. Anyways, this retails for $28, which, again, I don't know much about the brand, and I think it is a higher end brand, so I don't know. I'm cheap, okay? If that's not obvious, I'm a cheap person. So whenever I see prices of like these higher end brands, I'm like, dang, people pay that in this economy? No, I'm not judgy about anybody. You all spend your coin how you want to. It's just for me personally, I struggle to pay full price for products, especially makeup products, because it's just me using it. So I have a harder time justifying it when it's just me. It's just something that I'm using. Now, if it was something for my entire family or anything, yeah, I would spend the coin, but I don't know. I have a hard time spending a lot of money on myself, I guess. Alright, and then last but not least, my Beauty Boost item. I feel like I say this in every video, but if you don't know what the Beauty Boost item is, it's basically you pay a little extra for an extra product. So, normally if you just got the regular Boxycharm without the Beauty Boost, that would be what your box would be. You would only get 5 products, but because I'm signed up for the Beauty Boost, I get to customize one more product, so I get 6 products in the box. Anyway, so last but not least is this product here from Natasha Denona. This is the Golden Highlight Trio. I don't know if it has a shade name. I don't think it does. Anyways, this retails for $55, which is pretty pricey. Now, I know Natasha Denona is super expensive. Anyway, so here's the packaging, the classic Natasha Denona. I feel like a lot of the palettes and things have this type of packaging. And then here is the actual palette. Now, to be honest, ooh, wow. I'm glad it didn't shatter. That's not a good sign. It didn't shatter, but yeah, they did not glue this in really well. Well, that was lovely. So now I'm kind of scared to show it to you. This will be an easy fix for me, but yeah, now I'm kind of scared to show that on camera. But you guys get the gist of it, right? There's 3 shades in there. I'm going to try to give you a close-up, but I'm not going to tilt it too much, especially now that I just put that shade back in. Yeah, there you go. So as you can see, it is a very beaming highlighter, but I will say, like, I wonder if this is one of those products that Natasha Denona might have, like, I think sometimes they collab with Ipsy and they like make like products for them, probably for a discount. I don't know how it works, but anyways, I know brands do that. They collaborate with Ipsy every now and then to put products that they make for them in their boxes, and I kind of wonder if this is one of those. I'll have to look it up, but I don't know. I've gotten quite a few products in my boxes from Natasha Denona, and the quality on this just seems a little different. I don't know. Like, it's a very pretty highlighter, don't get me wrong, but when I was applying it, and I don't know if it's just the type of highlighter it is, like, you guys are going to be like, what are you talking about, Katie? Like, it is beaming. Maybe I just need to apply it with my fingertip. Maybe that's the problem. When I was using it with a brush, I noticed that it's like super, super soft formula, so the brush really wasn't picking it up. I'm going to try not to bust it again, but do you see that shade? Like, I used this shade here, the lightest one. I don't know if it's going to let you see. But it's starting to, like, look like it's hard panning already. And I don't know if it's just because the formula is super, super soft. I don't even know if you guys can see what I'm talking about. How do I explain this? You know, like when something like a shimmer or something just starts to look very slick, like it's just leveling out, like you can't really see like the powdery look to it anymore. It's just kind of turning slick, like a hard panning. It's kind of hard panning. And when I was using my brush, it was looking like it was already starting to hard pan, which might be the reason why I was having trouble picking it up after a while, because it was just kind of packing down. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but anyways, I was just having trouble picking it up, and I don't know if it's a formula thing or what, or maybe it's just the one that I got. But anyways, it's not a bad, like, it's super pretty on the face, but I had to keep dipping in to get it to build up to this, because I just feel like I was just sitting there trying to get it on my brush. I'll try playing with it, maybe my fingertip, maybe it's such a soft formula, maybe the brushes can't really pick it up very well. So maybe next time I'll try just going in with my fingertip and seeing if that works better. I need to remember to leave this out so that I know to glue that thing back in, because I do not want that thing shattering. I'm glad it didn't shatter. Anyways, so that is everything that I got in my box. So I went ahead and I tallied up the price of everything to let you guys know what the overall value is, and the overall value was $192, which is pretty good considering what I paid for the box. So I'm just going to real quick do a recap of everything that I got, just to give you guys my final thoughts on everything. So first up, brow wand. Not a bad product to get at all. Like, I'm not mad about it. I don't think that I necessarily would have gone out and bought this on my own, but you know what, brow products are nice to have on hand, and it's definitely fun to try out new products, and especially from brands that I've never heard about. So I like the formula of this. I don't really like the applicator. I think it's a little too big for my preference, but not mad about that. And then I got the cheek palette here, slash highlighter palette, I guess. Again, happy to try out a new brand, especially one that I've never heard of before, and the product is really nice. I won't say that I think this product is any better than any other product that I've tried, just being honest. Like, I don't know, I definitely wouldn't pay $27 for this, and I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I just don't think it's worth it. The packaging doesn't really feel like the most expensive, and I don't know, I feel like they're trying to copy other brands, especially like One Size, is it, that has those cheek palettes? I feel like everybody's trying to copy that right now, and so I'm just like, I feel like there's just a lack of originality, and I'm just like, I would much prefer brands like just coming up with their own packaging. But anyways, that's just my thoughts on that. Really, really happy with this Rare Beauty. Like I said, this is probably my favorite product out of the whole box. The bronzer and the highlighter are like, this is my favorite, but the bronzer and highlighter I do like. And then this product is a no for me. I don't think I'll ever try this product again, especially now that I read the back and it's mattifying. Like, I get it, you want a powder to be mattifying in certain areas, but I have such dry skin that mattifying products really don't work the best on me. They just end up making me look way drier than I already am, and I'm just not a huge fan of powders being shaded. Like, it's hard to find your perfect shade. You'd have to come out with such a big shade range of powders to like make it look natural, and these just always don't look natural on my skin, and I don't think it is my shade, so that probably doesn't help any at all. I do like the bronzer, and I was really excited to see this brand as an option, because like I said, everyone's been kind of talking about this brand, or at least the side of TikTok I'm on, and the videos I've seen suggested to me on YouTube have been talking about this brand, so I was really excited to see it, and I do think it's a really nice product. This product I do like. I do love a beaming highlighter, but I don't think it's my favorite Natasha Denona. I can't talk. Natasha Denona. It's not my favorite product from her, and like I said, I think it has to do with the quality. The quality just feels weird, and that's what makes me think it's a collab between them and Ipsy, because the quality just doesn't seem like her quality, if that makes sense. And it's kind of scary that one popped out. Like I said, I'm glad it didn't bust or anything, but those are just little things there. Which, granted, that can happen. You know, stuff gets past quality control. But like I said, I don't know. There's something about the formula of the highlighter that maybe she's doing something new. Like I said, it's super beaming. It's super pretty. It's just the applicating of it. The application of this highlighter is kind of tricky. I'll just say that. But I'm still glad to have it, and the packaging is pretty, and I don't know what it is about the product. Anyways, so I'm still happy to have it. I'll get it to work. I will glue that piece back down and make sure the others are not loose, so it's really no issues. But bottom line is, do I think this box was worth it this month? And I have to say, yes, absolutely. It was definitely worth it this month. For one, I'm glad that I got all makeup products and I didn't get any skincare. I'm actually really happy about that. I wouldn't mind that every other month or so. Like, I don't mind getting skincare every now and then, but I always love the makeup side of it. I'd say the worst product was probably this Tarte one. But really, the other products were all really nice. But there you go, guys. That is going to do it for today. That is my unboxing of September's Ipsy Boxycharm box. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up because that really does help my channel. And also let me know down in the comments what you guys thought of my box this month. But other than that, hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. And I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!